Today is a big day for San Francisco 49er fans and George Kittle as the San Francisco 49ers locked up their all-pro tight end with a 4-year, $76.4 million deal, which also includes $40 million guaranteed, locking up their tight end through the age of 35. Now, a lot of fans are really excited about this, and rightfully so, locking up what, in my opinion, and I think it should be known opinion as well, the best tight end in all of football. But as we know, there is more business to be conducted for the San Francisco 49ers. And of course, quickly after George Kittle gets paid, attentions will shift to Brock Purdy and his negotiation. So, according to my sports update, Ari, who works for the 33rd team, is reporting that now the San Francisco 49ers, after locking up George Kittle, will now start to prioritize and get the deal done with Brock Purdy. That is expected to be in the range of $50+ million per year on average. So as we know, fantastic that we got George taken care of. And I think it goes without saying, the San Francisco 49ers would be wild to pay George and not pay the quarterback. So I think the fact that we have made it through the draft, both George, both Brock are still here. Yes, the San Francisco 49ers did draft a quarterback, but not until the 7th round, and he's coming off an ACL surgery. So that happened, I think, in January. So I don't even know what his availability would even look like for next year. But as it stands right now, it appears now they get Kittle taken care of, and now the focus will shift to getting Brock Purdy locked up. So we've talked about the draft being an imaginary deadline, just having to make it through the draft because, again, teams are going to be calling. They're going to be checking value. You never know what could happen potentially. So as it stands right now, I'm going to present a new deadline for the 49ers to get this deal done with Brock Purdy. And this goes all the way back to his exit interview. And I made a big deal about it. I got a lot of pushback from fans. But if you remember, in the final interview of the year with Brock Purdy standing in front of his locker, he mentioned the importance of being able to attend mandatory minicamp and OTAs because that is when the season starts. That is when guys start to build a rapport, install first phases of the offense, and you got a lot of new guys. So it's your first opportunity to be in that setting. And as the quarterback, you want to be there. Just like Brock showed up to phase 1 of the offseason program, even though he did not have a contract, the same thing applies to mandatory minicamp because that is the leverage in this situation is that Brock holds out. He is under contract. He has one more year left on his rookie deal. So that is the leverage in that scenario for him. And I don't think he or the 49ers want to get to that point. So the way that I'm looking at it is mandatory minicamp I'm going to say OTAs, organized team activities, is going to, or whichever one comes first, is going to be the new kind of invisible deadline to get Brock Purdy's deal done. I didn't believe anything was going to get done before the draft, but now I think we're in that window. And the fact that the 49ers just took care of George Kittle makes me feel exceptionally confident that the 49ers are going to get this deal done with Brock Purdy. That's their quarterback. They've said it all along, and it's time. I understand that people have concerns and issues with the amount that Brock Purdy is going to be getting paid, but I think it is important to recognize that whatever Brock gets paid right now, assuming it's under $55 million, is going to look like a middle of the pack deal 3 years from now. So yes, feels daunting. I can understand that. I can rationalize that, and I can see how some fans struggle with that notion, but it's not just about right now. Project out, project into the future. The cap space is just going to continually rise. This sport right now is growing exponentially. Look at the NFL draft. There was over 200,000 people to stand in a parking lot to watch names get read of what team they're going to. Like, think about that. I was at the draft. The draft is insane. Like, literally, you're driving to the stadium, all these houses, you're parking on their grass. People are charging $100 just to park on their lawn. It was crazy. It was an insane situation. But again, it pinpoints that this is still an ascending league, and they're only going to continue to make more money, which means the cap space is going to continue to rise. So, yes, what it might look like now could potentially feel daunting to you depending on your understanding of the market and your understanding how contracts look. But at the end of the day, 2 years from now, we might be looking at this Brock Purdy deal as like a deal where we're like, oh, yeah, yes, it got bumped up a little bit based on the market, but when you look now 2 years ahead and you're now seeing what these quarterbacks are getting, I feel like Jaden Daniels is going to be 75 mil per year, you know? So in that context, I don't know, not bad, not bad. So we shall see what the San Francisco 49ers ultimately get. And we will move forward as such. So, as I mentioned, I do believe that the San Francisco 49ers will get something done with Brock Purdy in the near future. I think any thoughts of them moving off of Brock or anything like that can be put into the rear view, because now it is time where teams have drafted quarterbacks, they've developed their rosters and kind of set uh, themselves up to now go into the season with these rosters. And so have the San Francisco 49ers. And they will be going into this season with 4 quarterbacks: Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, Tanner Mordecai, and Rourke, their newest quarterback that they drafted out of Indiana in the 7th round. So I feel pretty confident in saying that the San Francisco 49ers are going to be able to get this contract done and get it done within the coming weeks. So I am looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get this thing wrapped up, which again is a great shift of how some other, premier contracts have gotten done in the past, where they lead into training camp. Those players are clearly affected by that. And so now I am, again, really, really excited about this next phase and looking forward to seeing the 49ers get this done with Brock. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.